that we are all, by nature, Krishna's friends. We are all, originally, residents of the spiritual world, either Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. We are all the playmates of Lord Sri Krishna, his loving companions. How is it that now we are in this dark cave of the ignorance of material existence? It is simply because we trusted our minds, possessed by the enemy of our own speculations, to be our friend. This is in essence our predicament. But Krishna is very merciful. When he saw his friends in a helpless and hopeless condition, and he heard their prayers, he went to that great demon, who was still in the guise of a friend, and playing just his very role in the game as his police constable, it was his duty to catch the thief. So he caught the thief. So Vyomasura, he became very afraid, because he knew that he was facing God, the Almighty. And therefore, he was very anxious to escape by any means. So you know what he did? First he tried to run, but Krishna grabbed him very hard. And then he began to expand himself into a huge form like a mountain, thinking that he would break away. But Krishna would not let him break away. You see, he was exposed. Similarly, when the enemy of the mind is exposed before God, it's not that he just humbly surrenders and says, "Oh, Krishna, now you know who I am, I surrender." No. The first thing the mind will do, in the same spirit as Vyomasura, it will try by hook, by crook, by any means to avoid surrendering. When the enemy of the mind is undetected, it simply causes havoc in your life and keeps you stored in the dark cave of the ignorance of material existence. But when it actually is detected, when somebody points out, "You are in Maya," "No, not me. Impossible. You're wrong. You're misunderstanding. Lack of communication here, I'm afraid." Sometimes we all think like that. Admit it. Everyone thinks like that. There is a verse that says, the greatest person is a person who's willing to admit his mistakes and admit his weaknesses. The fact is, Arjuna was weak and victimized as long as he thought he knew what was right, because he was surrendering to the enemy of his mind. Arjuna's greatest strength, which allowed him to be empowered by the complete mercy of the Lord, was he humbled himself. "My Lord, I have so many good arguments, I have so much logic and reasoning to prove my point, but all my logic, all my reasonings, all my philosophy is simply making me a victim of Maya." When we are put in a situation, it is exposed that we are acting independent of Krishna, and Krishna's order is there to surrender. Immediately, we start becoming big like a mountain to escape. Our false ego becomes big like a mountain to try to give us excuses and justifications to escape from Krishna. So this is just what Vyomasura did. But Krishna, he is very expert at killing demons. He took that demon and he threw him to the ground so hard that he smashed every part of his body and the demon died. And all the demigods and all the great sages began to glorify Krishna and throw flowers upon him and chant his holy names. And then, after the demon was killed, he removed that large rock and released his friends. And then they came out back into the light, back into the spiritual world of Vrindavan to enjoy transcendental pastimes with the Lord. Krishna is the only one that can kill the demon of the mind. But we have to allow Krishna to take control of our life. Unless we call out his holy name, unless we accept his instruction, unless we accept the mercy of Guru and Sadhu, then we do not allow Krishna into our life. Then we remain, birth after birth after birth, imprisoned in the dark cave of ignorance. due to surrendering to the enemy of our mind, who we are so intimately embracing as our friend. But if we understand and detect the true nature of this enemy mind, and we cry out for Krishna, we cry out His holy name, we are willing to accept His will as our will, then even though our mind, in the process of devotional service, in the process of surrendering, our mind will start growing and shrinking and fighting and running. But as long as you keep the mind in the arms of Krishna, that mind is going to be slayed in due course of time. And then, by the grace of God, Lord Shri Krishna, He will release us from the darkness of ignorance of the cave of our own material illusions, attachments, and opinions. And we will come out into the light of the spiritual world. And then again, we can resume our natural, healthy condition as being the intimate playmates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.